Morning to you, Leanne. You remember that last time the reason why the council meeting was actually postponed was because of the high security risk the speaker said that this council posed should it go on. When we arrived here, I have never seen, Leanne, I'll just pan out so you can see for yourself, in the history of myself doing council, I've never seen so much security taking place in council. So I think it's fair to say that this time there will be a council meeting. Security is on its highest alert. We have seen just from the top of the street, we have seen people from the police services, from the Metro Police coming out in numbers to make sure that the councillors are safe within council. It's fair to say that the Metro is in trouble. Like you said earlier on, the Eastern Cape government has now asked that Section 139 be implemented, and then this administration, this council be placed under administration. The council is in tatters right now, I'd really say, because their attempt to try and oust Mandela was not a success, and now it looks like that we loggerheads and councillors want Bobani out and some want him in. But to just put things in perspective for us, let's speak to our analyst, Mr. Ongama Mtimka. It's fair to say, Mr. Mtimka, that our council and our metro is in dire need.
It's in a crisis of unparalleled levels we've never seen in South Africa post-democracy. You are in a situation where, you know, in the business political network in PE, you've had a proliferation of people who are former gang members who are now transitioning into the business realm, especially the construction sector. And those people have formed a very powerful lobby. And what's happened is the administration of Mayor Bobani has been very beneficial to those relationships. If you look at, for example, the project for drains in last year, December 2018, about 500 some odd million committed by his administration to business projects, for in the near future. All of those make the configuration of power among those that are contesting here to be slightly complex. So it's not just the divisions of the power bases within the ANC and the coalition partners that's an issue, but also the formation of alliances between those of the ANC who are in the administration, the mayoral council, as well as the business fraternity that benefits from them being inside. So what you find is that the SMME sector is not comfortable seeing this political transition take place unless they were sure that the influence they have wasn't going to be disrupted. So there's a lot of feeling among them that whatever happens at a political level, because politicians must do their job, it mustn't disrupt the alliance that has been formed with SMEs with respect to the commitment to deliver, to bring projects that are beneficial to them. But obviously, I mean, if you have provincial, this process here is led by the ANC at a provincial level, and that may kind of dilute the power bases as have been known in the administration of Mayor Bobani.
When you speak about councillors or people doing their services, we speak about the service in the metro really being in tatters. IPTS is an issue. There's been no appointment of a CFO, and really the administration here is in problem.
Yeah, that's the challenge. I think for me, it narrows down to a tendency to not want to appoint competent people, or rather want to appoint people who will be more loyal to the political configurations of power currently than they would be to the profession, whether that be an accountant in terms of the CFO, or engineering if it's somebody in infrastructure. So we have a state capture situation, according to one of the researchers who is based in the municipality.
Now we see provincial government coming in to want to implement Section 139. Do you think that's the best solution right now because of the current state of the council?
The challenge with the ANC is that things have become so entrenched in cultures of shadow governments that something more often than not what appears to be a fair and a purely administrative process always has underlying currents which are not spoken about. So, and because now the people here understand that that's the culture, it's always difficult to trust that an intervention is in fact what it's meant to be. So there are always fights about what's not being spoken, because people are fearing that yes, come the intervention, which may be good for the city, but is it introducing new configurations of power which may influence how the purse and the value chain of the flows of money may disrupt what exists? So that's where the challenges are. If for me, provincial government under Xolile Nqatha is undergoing this process in good faith, and I think whether or not in good faith, that's another question, but the fact that it's happening, it's helping to bring this impasse here to a possible solution. But it seems to me that the ANC is not clear at this stage as to you remove Bobani and who do you bring in. Remember, the party is in tatters in this region. It's been led by a task team for a very long time. So there isn't clarity of roles in that task team. Remember, the party has preference for no two centers of power. And the question is, do you take the convener or the chairperson of the regional task team? And I think currently it's Mafaya, who's a former mayor. Do you bring that person on the basis of the dictates of the avoidance of two centers of power logic? Or do you explore for somebody who may be, positioned to become the next regional leader of the party? Or how do you solve the tensions between the ANC at a provincial level and locally? But what I like about the process is that at least the ANC has been able to find one another with the Democratic Alliance, so that there's this process that's taking place now. Never mind the fact that those of the ANC who are already in power are questioning the alliances, as well as the United Front, by the way, who have one seat, are questioning the logic of that alliance. But in modern day coalition politics, it seems to me that we are going to accept it as a normal practice in South Africa, that sometimes coalitions may lose on the ideology part, but gain on the practicalities side.
Interesting views there by political analyst Ongama Mtimka. One of the motions that's going to be passed this morning is the motion of no confidence against Mongameli Bobani. And like I said earlier, on Section 139, now a call from provincial government to implement that, to put this council at administration. Whether it'll be done or not, we'll have to wait and see. But now, on a lighter note, with the Springboks victory, let's go to Valen with sports.